There are two kinds of men in this world. The first reacts immediately when disrespected. He responds loudly, argues, defends himself, and fights. To him, every insult must be answered, every challenge met, every battle won. The second type responds differently. When someone disrespects him, he goes quiet. He observes, calculates, and walks away without explanation, without defense, without anger. That silence, that deliberate withdrawal, unnerves people. Not because he's weak, but because they can't read him. They don't know if he's retreating or repositioning, whether he sees them as beneath his energy, or if he's planning something they cannot anticipate. His absence speaks louder than any words ever could. 5 centuries ago, 2 men understood this principle deeply. Niccolo Machiavelli observed princes destroying themselves by engaging in battles they didn't need to fight, while Sun Tzu taught generals that the greatest victory is the battle you never fight. Today, we'll explore the most dangerous skill a man can have. Not how to win every fight, but how to know which fights to avoid, and why the ability to walk away without explanation or anger separates dangerous men from desperate ones. Sun Tzu wrote in The Art of War, "The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting." Most people misinterpret this as diplomacy or negotiation, but he meant something deeper. Fighting itself is often the trap. The moment you engage, you've already given your opponent something valuable: your time, energy, attention, and predictability. This is not passivity, this is precision. Consider this. When someone provokes you and you react, you've shown them exactly how to manipulate you. You've handed them power. But when you don't engage and simply walk away, you become unpredictable. They cannot control you or drain you. Jump forward to Renaissance Italy. Machiavelli observed the political chaos of Florence. Families destroying one another over minor slights and challenges. Princes who felt compelled to answer every insult exhausted themselves, created enemies, and wasted their energy on trivial conflicts. But those who chose their battles carefully conserved power, striking only when it mattered, and when they did, their force was decisive. Sun Tzu elaborates, "There are roads which must not be followed, armies which must not be attacked, towns which must not be besieged, positions which must not be contested. These are not battles you might lose. They are battles you should never fight, not because victory is impossible, but because the engagement itself is the wrong move." The greatest generals won not by fighting every battle, but by avoiding battles that didn't serve their ultimate goal. Every engagement has a cost, even if you win. Machiavelli wrote, "A prince must have no other objective, no other thought, nor take up any profession but that of war." Yet he did not mean constant fighting. He meant always thinking strategically, and often, strategy requires avoiding conflict. Weak men fight every battle for their ego. Strong men fight only the battles that matter, because their strategy demands it. This is strategic withdrawal, the skill that separates formidable men from the merely loud. Why do most men fail to master this? Ego. A fragile ego craves constant validation. Disrespect feels like an existential threat, forcing a reaction. Social media highlights this perfectly. A weak man spends hours defending himself to strangers, granting them control over his time and energy. A dangerous man, however, assesses the situation, smiles or ignores it, and moves on. Not avoidance, but calculation. The battle doesn't serve him, so his absence becomes his response. The person seeking a reaction is left confused. They expected conflict, but received silence. Now they wonder, did he see it? Does he care? What is he planning? That question lingers far longer than any argument could have. This principle applies everywhere. In the workplace, weak men get pulled into office drama, political games, and petty disputes, exhausting themselves while proving they can be baited. Strong men see the same situations and opt out. They don't announce it. They simply don't participate. Suddenly, others question their indifference. What does he know that I don't? Is he above this? Is he planning something? In relationships, it's equally revealing. A woman may test a weak man through petty fights, withdrawal, or flirtation with others. He reacts emotionally, proving he's manipulable, that his emotions are her control. A dangerous man assesses calmly. If someone subtracts value from his life, he withdraws completely. Her expectation of a fight is replaced with silence, and that absence is far more powerful than any argument. Here's the truth weak men struggle to accept. You don't owe anyone a reaction. Your energy and attention are your most valuable resources. The moment you allow someone undeserving to dictate them, you've lost. Strategic withdrawal creates power because humans crave closure. Engaging gives others your attention, reasoning, and emotional state. They understand you, and understanding is the first step to control. Withdrawing creates a vacuum, and human psychology abhors a vacuum. It fills it with speculation, anxiety, and obsession. Consider two men in conflict. The first argues, defends, and the dispute ends. The second simply walks away. 6 months later, who does the opponent still think about? The first man offered closure. The second left a question mark. Did I win? Did he not care? Is he planning something? Uncertainty breeds fear. Machiavelli understood this. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Fear comes from uncertainty. People fear what they can't predict, understand, or control. Engagement creates predictability. Tude creates mystery. Sun Tzu said, "All warfare is based on deception. Appear weak when you are strong and strong when you are weak." Strategic withdrawal is the ultimate deception. It appears as retreat, but is actually a refusal to play someone else's game, operating on a different level entirely. Powerful people, the genuinely powerful, not the loud, handle disrespect the same way. They go quiet, remove access, and withdraw energy. This absence is devastating because presence is only valuable when you can withhold it. If you are always available, always reacting, your presence is cheap. But a man who can walk away makes his engagement rare, sought after, and respected. Strategic withdrawal terrifies because it exposes an uncomfortable truth. Others might not matter as much to you as they assumed, and that realization is more powerful than any fight. The 5 levels of mastery. When someone tries to manipulate or provoke you and gets no reaction, it devastates their ego. Your silence becomes a mirror reflecting their own insignificance. But this is tactical. Strategic withdrawal doesn't mean never fighting. It means engaging with precision. You act when it serves your purpose and withdraw when engagement costs more than it's worth. Sun Tzu gives a framework. Before any engagement, assess 5 factors: the way, the weather, the terrain, leadership, and discipline. In modern terms, ask what is really at stake. If someone insults you online, the only thing at risk is your ego. That's irrelevant, so you withdraw. But if someone threatens your reputation with people who matter to your career, the stakes are real. Now engagement might be necessary. Next, consider the conditions. Do you have the advantage? Machiavelli warned against fighting on your enemy's terms. If someone tries to drag you into conflict on their turf, social media, their platform, their audience, you withdraw. You win not by playing their game, but by refusing it. Third, weigh the cost of engagement versus withdrawal. Every fight demands time, energy, and attention. Is the potential gain worth the cost? If not, withdraw. Fourth, assess your emotional state. Anger, hurt, and reactivity cloud judgment. Always withdraw when emotions are high. Strategic withdrawal gives you clarity and time to decide if engagement is worth it. Here's a truth that saves time. 90% of conflicts that feel urgent now are irrelevant. A week later, that insult, that argument, that potential battle, they change nothing. Withdrawal allows urgency to fade, so you can see clearly. So, when should you engage? When stakes are real, conditions favor you, something you value is threatened, or ignoring it would invite further violations. Engagement must be decisive and strategic. Weak men react emotionally. Strong men calculate. For example, a man building a business might face a competitor spreading lies. The impulsive response is to fight publicly, defend, and explain. The strategic move is to ask, will responding give this more attention than deserved? Will it look defensive? Sometimes, the best choice is silence. Letting your work speak, addressing key people privately, documenting for legal protection, or allowing the competitor to exhaust themselves while you continue building. Choosing rather than reacting is the essence of strategy. Sun Tzu taught, winning 100 battles is not mastery. Subduing the enemy without fighting is mastery. Walking away from unnecessary fights is the highest form of strategic thinking. Developing this skill takes practice. Level 2. Practice small withdrawals. Start with minor provocations. Ignore a stupid comment. Scroll past online bait or opt out of office drama. Each successful withdrawal trains you to value your attention. Level 1. Pause before reacting. When provoked, stop, breathe, ask, does this matter tomorrow? Not, am I right? But does it truly matter? Most often, it doesn't. That pause is where strategy wins over ego. Level 3. Master disappearing. When someone is toxic, manipulative, or draining, don't argue, don't explain. Gradually withdraw until your absence is felt. Keep responses vague if necessary, truthful but revealing nothing. This builds distance without drama. Level 4. Be comfortable with their discomfort. Withdrawal unsettles others. They may call you cold or accuse you of running. Resist the urge to explain. Complete, unmoved withdrawal maintains your power. As Machiavelli would say, they can say what they want. As long as they can't control you, you win. Consider 2 men. Level 5. Strategic re-engagement. Sometimes withdrawal is temporary. Disappear to shift power dynamics. When conditions favor you, return with clear boundaries. They realize what they lost, but you control the terms. Your presence is now a gift, not a guarantee. The first fights, every battle, constantly defending and explaining, exhausted and reactive. He has given control of his life to anyone who knows how to push his button. The second chooses battles wisely, remains calm under disrespect, and conserves energy for what matters. He's focused, strategic, and feared, not because he fights, but because he doesn't need to. Machiavelli and Sun Tzu understood that power isn't winning every battle, it's choosing the right ones, on terrain that favors you, under favorable conditions. Strategic withdrawal, that silent refusal to engage, is what separates dangerous men from desperate ones. Desperate men fight to prove they matter. Dangerous men walk away because they already know they do, and they don't waste energy on those whose opinions don't affect their life. Watch the impact. Notice how conserving energy feels, how others' perceptions shift, and how powerful silence can be when chosen strategically. Here's your assignment for the week. When provoked, don't react. Avoid drama. Pause and ask, does this matter? Does this person deserve my energy? Does this fight serve me? If not, walk away silently, completely, without explanation. Machiavelli was right. It's better to be feared than loved. Sun Tzu was right. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Together, they reveal the ultimate skill, strategic withdrawal. Not weakness, but strength. While weak men exhaust themselves proving worth, you walk away from what doesn't serve you, and that terrifies people. Your silence becomes your power, your absence, your weapon, your discipline, your shield. That is the art both Machiavelli and Sun Tzu mastered. And now, so can you. The question is, do you have the strength to walk away?